I began organizing the community. We began holding monthly meetings with other elected officials in our area. And for 8 years, we held monthly meetings that mobilized 100 to 200 people at every meeting. So when you hear that people of color are not involved in the environment, we're not interested in those issues, that is not true. We are interested in whatever affects our health and safety of our families. And that was borne out to me very clearly year after year. As you know, many environmental issues are very political, and we had a political administration, the Koch administration, that really was not a responsive one to this community. So they said, oh, there's no problem, we've got odor control equipment, you know, you must be imagining it. So much of even our state senator friends liked her, said, come on, Ed, you know, I smelled it coming down the West Side Highway. What do you mean? You know, I'm not making this up. To make a long story short, we had an 8-year organizing campaign. We began to make real strides when Mayor Dinkins was elected. He put in an administration and a commissioner of environmental protection who said there's a problem and we're going to fix it. And so we spent the next few years working with the new city administration, found out there had been no odor control equipment at all at a sewage treatment plant, which was the largest in the city and the closest to people's homes in the city. And so we moved ahead to get that plant fixed. It was never an issue of shutting it down because it was mandated by the Clean Water Act. So what used to happen in Manhattan is that when a toilet flushed on the west side of Manhattan, it all went directly into the Hudson River. And so the federal government mandated the sewage treatment plant under the Clean Water Act. So it was never an issue that we could shut that down. It was always an issue to get this fixed and working to the best that it could. Even though David Dinkins was a great administration that understood the issue, I mean, he had lived uptown, so he knew the issue intimately. We decided that we needed to go to court and sue the city to ensure that even once David Dinkins was out of office, because of course that does happen, that we could ensure to the community that this facility would be well maintained. So with the Natural Resources Defense Council, we filed a lawsuit against the city DEP, and in 1993, in the last days of the Dinkins administration, they settled that lawsuit for a $1.1 million environmental benefits fund. We never expected any funds out of it. It was a shock. It was a wonderful shock. And so we worked with the NRDC to develop environmental programs that would benefit the community with those funds. And WE ACT, which was a volunteer organization, was able to receive $200,000 from that settlement fund to hire our first staff and set up an office, a permanent office. And so we took off and have been organizing and expanding our work ever since. We started with 3 staff, quickly expanded to 5 or so. Today we generally run a staff between 14 and 17 people. It is a professional staff that includes folks with expertise in public health, environmental law, and environmental policy. We're working to create a healthy and safe environment in northern Manhattan neighborhoods. As you probably know, there's 4 distinct neighborhoods within northern Manhattan: East, West, and Central Harlem, and Washington Heights and Wood. And so we work to engage community residents in environmental decision-making that affects their lives. As an environmental justice organization, we exist because this community has been disproportionately burdened by pollution, has had no environmental benefits, but it has borne all of the burdens of our society and our community, those environmental burdens like sewage treatment plants, bus depots, waste transfer facilities. All of those kinds of facilities do have to go somewhere. They are a result of the way we live, but one community should not have to bear the brunt of the burden of waste and facilities for the whole city.